Hey, welcome back to SV Ramble on, and thanks again for joining us. The weather's been kind of cruddy lately, so I haven't had a lot of chance to get the varnish on the teak. We finally got some good, nice, sunny, warm weather this weekend, and I'm going to get some varnish on. And then I'm going to show you a little bit about my secret varnish recipe to match that 44-year-old interior. Things have been a little weird lately. As you know, we're in California and kind of locked down. I have a job that is considered essential, so I still go to work every day, but Jenny's currently working from home right now. With the current situation and everybody on lockdown and things and availability of materials and whatnot, we're sort of holding our cards close to our vest as far as spending a bunch of money on boat projects right now. We'll just try and get this thing finished up for you and get it installed. In our last video, I told you how you had to modify the pot holders to make them fit these rails. I got the things recessed in, and I've been grinding away on these things to try and get them to fit and slide up the rail without interfering with the glass. So these things slip on like this, and they ride that rail, so they're adjustable for small things and larger pots and pans. Just slide them on like that and lock them down with the thumb screws. So that's about it so far. And then when I'm done with them, I can put them in here. So on the last video, you might remember that I stained the plywood box, and for this teak, I'm only varnishing it, no stain. So when you're varnishing something, never dip a brush into the varnish because it contaminates it. Always pull it to a secondary container and do all your mixing and stuff in there so you don't contaminate the main pot. So the ratio is 5 to 3.
And so how many coats are you planning to do?
This might be enough to do. This will probably be enough to do 2 coats.
But I mean overall? Probably
6 or 7 at least.
Okay. So you do 2 coats of this, and then you do this little one?
Laying down base coats. The first coat's going to get sucked right into the grain because the amount it's thinned. And then the second coat will lay a little thicker, but I'll do it at a different ratio.
Second coat of the rubbed effect.
Right.
And then the last coat you do is this one?
Last few coats.
Last few coats
so
is this
1 to 2, maybe 3.
Okay.
Depends. So when you lay this on, it's just right now you're just trying to get it into the wood.
It looks pretty close.
How's that for a freaking, I don't know, an eyeball match? Yeah, not bad.
Do you care if you got varnish on the...
No, I'll wipe it off in a little bit. Yeah, before I forget, Jenny would kill me if I didn't include this, and a couple of people have actually commented and asked questions about it. This is the gimbal lock thing. I got it from McMaster. And what happens is this thing swings, and there's a little thumb screw on here that locks it down. So when we want to lock it in position, all you got to do is flip the arm over in the little bracket. So something like that. Flip the arm over into the bracket and then lock down the thumb screw. A lot of balance. Scuba weights. Well, they're actually free diving weights that I made. So just about a total of 8 pounds of lead at the back end of the cabinet. And when I put the glass cooktop in, it'll balance out. So this should be good. I'm going to do something with that and probably melt it down into something more usable and use it to balance. All right, so I probably haven't explained very well how this whole gimbal system works, but what I got here is a couple of bolts, one on each side, right about the center point of where I figured out and calculated the balance for this thing. These things extend into pocket holes in the wooden brackets that I made, and that way what happens is once you extend the bolts into the sides of the gimbal bracket and then jam nut these things, this thing ain't coming out no matter how you jiggle on it. It might vibrate a little bit, but it's not coming out. Even if the boat turns upside down, this oven enclosure is not coming out of its hole. Over in here, there's the bracket. You probably saw it on one of the other videos when I was installing it. Anyway, it's just about ready to go back in. Electricity, got to land power back at the panel, and that's what I'm going to do next. Got the, so there's the outlet, clearly labeled, and a little bit of unconventional AC wiring, but any idiot can probably read my instructions and figure out what the hell's going on. Hey, well, I guess it works.